Hey there, my name's JP and I'm an educator for Weaviate. In a previous video, you saw how to create a collection using the new V4 Python client. In this video, let's build on that and have a look at how we can import data into Weaviate using the new client as well. Let's start simple by building our script from the ground up. We'll start by importing Weaviate. And we'll connect to the embedded client that we're using, same as before. And since we'll be ingesting data, I'm going to pass on my API key as well. And that's on the headers. Since we defined cohere as our vectorizer, I'll use my cohere key and I have it saved as an environment variable, so I'll load that up here as well. Great. What I'll do is we had a collection called reviews, so let's load that up by calling client collections.get and review the collection name, which is review. What that'll do is create a object in Python that we can interact with, and that's the same thing with movies. Now, let's show a basic import. So the way to do that, if you want to do single inserts, is to use our object, collection object, and have a look in the data submodule or namespace. And you'll see this method called insert and insert many. As the name kind of suggests, insert is for single inserts. And if you load up the method and have a look at the tooltip, it tells you that there are these attributes or the parameters like properties, references, UUID, and so on. The only thing you have to provide, as you can see here, is properties. So let's do that and see what an example looks like. We had a property called, I think, username. So if I provide that, let's make up a username, my name. And this is all you would need to do to create a row of data or an object. So as long as you've got the right properties inserted and it matches your schema and you're inserting it to the right object, Weaviate will take care of the rest for you. And you can and as I said before, you can specify other objects or other properties like the UUID, vectors, and so on. And then let's have a look at inserts of movies. Let's say I want to insert a movie called Modern Times. And let's say I want to create a cross-reference. So I can look in the references parameter. And the way to do that would be to use our reference property name, which was has review. And I want to provide a target UUID. I don't have that just yet. So where could I get that? Well, let's just come up with a property name first, or a variable name first. What actually I can do is, because this insert method returns my UUID, so I can just assign that to my variable. And that UUID can be used again to create a reference. Now, obviously, this isn't a real example, as my properties or my review doesn't have any content in it. But if you do create a review first or the target object first, you can capture it to UUID and use it when you're creating a reference. So that's a simple example of a single object creation. Let's have a look at another method called insert many. It kind of works very similarly, but first let's create a list of objects to use first. So I'll call that review props. And I'll just use this list comprehension. So let's say, what was my column name? Username. And that would be, let's use an f string, user, some index, for I in range. Let's just create 5 of them. So that's just going to create 5 of these users with different indices. And now what I can do is say reviews, data, insert many to add review props. And this will create now all of the objects that are specified in this list. So that's another big quality of life improvement for me, is being able to pass a list like this into our reviews. And if I do want to create if I do want to pass multiple objects with additional metadata like references, additional properties, excuse me, like reference properties, or even things like UUID or vectors, I can use this handy object or handy class called data object. But of course, I have to import it first. So I'll say import data object. Oops, that is from Weaviate classes data, because that's the operation I'm using. So I can look in the data sub module, import data object. So that's what I want. So what I would do then is to create a set of data objects. So let's just create one first. Let's start with that. And I can instantiate it with, say, properties. Would be something like title is, let's be quite boring and call it movie I. Let's call that. Let's just call it 1 for now. Oops. And our references would be in a similar format as before. So I'm just going to copy and paste that actually. So that's what a single data object looks like. Now I want to create a whole set of them, or list of them, excuse me. So it'll look something like this for I in range 5. And let's just replace that f string with an actual index. So what this will give me is a list of 5 data objects of movies. Let's call that movie objects. And I can leverage that to add these to the movies. Movies, data, insert many, movie objects. And that will now insert 5 objects, each of which will have a property and some references. And of course, as I mentioned before, I can add things like UUID here and create the custom UUIDs. So that's insert and insert many. These are really kind of handy functions, obviously, especially insert many, because it lets you deal with a list directly. If you have just one list that you want to upload to Weaviate, this is the method I go to. But quite often you might be dealing with large data sets. And of course, for that, we still have our trusty batch functions. So let's have a quick look at those. Now, the batch functions in the V4 client come in 2 flavors. So what you'll find is that in the client object, you can see there's a batch. And now you'll see a number of different methods like dynamic, fixed size, rate limit, for example. So dynamic is probably what you're most used to. So the way to use that is to use a context manager like we've done before. So what you would do is with that as batch, you can start to do all your batching things. So batch.add object. And your properties would be, let's add a movie. So title would be avatar. And since I'm dealing with a client, it doesn't know what collection that object would go to. So I have to specify that. So that'll be collection movie. And that's all you would need to do. And again, you can optionally provide things like your UUID and your vector as well. Now, the other functions or the other methods that are available for batching include fixed size. And what that does is to allow you to set the batch size specifically. So batch size, if I set that as, say, 50, they'll send 50 objects per batch to Weaviate. A new method here that's really cool is this rate limit method. And what that does is to limit the rate at which you send the data to Weaviate. Why is that useful? Well, that's when you're using API, inference APIs, for example, like Cohere, like I'm using. And if you have a particular rate limit that's linked to your account, using this, you can avoid hitting those rate limits because it's set at that number for you. Typically, I probably recommend setting that number to be slightly below your actual rate limit, of course, because these things, might vary. So you don't want to be at the exact limit. So I would recommend setting a number slightly below that. The other thing you can do that's really cool is to start batching, but with the collection object. So if I want to look at my movies object, batch, dynamic, and again, use the context manager as batch. Now I can use the batch object to say, let's add an object or reference or so on. And I can add the object And all I have to do now is to provide the properties. So this time title is when, oh my goodness. So here's my title, and that's all I would need to do. There you can see, if I look at the list of parameters, there's no collection parameter. And of course, that's because that information is included as part of my movies object, which is based on, of course, our collection. So that's really handy. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to do before we go, which is talk about error handling. As you know, there are things that can go wrong at the object level, even if the batch insertion as a whole has been successful. So the object might be malformed, you might get API errors temporarily, and so on. So there are a couple of ways to deal with it. And again, this is really cool. So you can do things like batch and then number errors. And this number will update as you use the batch within the context manager. So you can do things like if number errors is or more than whatever, say 100, break. And then you can, for example, have a look at what's happening. And of course, this is assuming that this is in a loop. So for in range 100,000 or whatever. So you can do something like that. And another thing you can do is have a look at the batch at the end of the batch run. So what you can do then is to go now movies.batch. And I'd say have a look at the failed object or the failed references individually. So at the end of it, I can do things like if length of this is greater than 0, oh my goodness, 0. Or I can just say or length of movies, batch, failed, references is greater than 0. I can do something. I'll just say pass for now. But that allows me to have a look at the overall results of my batch run and see what's happened. Now, a note of caution is that, of course, as you're using these context managers, if you do run this process again with different, say, subset of data, these attributes like the failed objects and the failed references will be overwritten. So just make sure that you do your error handling in between batch runs. So that's it. That's our little introduction to our object import process with the V4 client. We think there's a lot of quality of life improvements, and I haven't even mentioned this before, but the import process you'll find is much, much faster due to the use of gRPC under the hood. So we hope you enjoy it as much as we had enjoyed it developing it. So thanks a lot. See you soon.